It's so frustrating when you're trying to find a movie you want to watch, and the movie you want to watch, you don't know the name of it, and you think it's a certain name, and it's so difficult to find. But do whatever you can, and if you can't find it, then just give up and find a different movie. Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes. So today in this video, I have a very interesting story for you guys about the time I went to the video store to rent a movie, only to try to find this one movie I want. Only downfall was I didn't know the name, and I thought it was called a certain name, but none of the video stores I went to could find it, so we ended up giving up looking for it. So this is a story just to teach you guys, you should always know the name of your movies that you want to rent. From, let's say, when you're watching Netflix and stuff. Back then, we actually ended up renting movies from a video store, so you had to go out and get the movies, and I didn't know the name of this one movie I wanted, but now I know the name of it now, but at that time I didn't know what it was called, so I thought of a weird name of the film, and nobody could find it because they didn't know the actual name of the movie. So this is a story just to teach you guys, you should always know the actual names of your movies when you want to rent them. So then you can find them on Netflix, you can find them on Amazon. Always know the name of your movies, exact titles of your movies, so then you know where to know what you're looking for. So I'm gonna get started, and I hope you guys enjoy the story. So this all started about 21 years ago. I was going through chemo. I was making a list of movies I wanted to get from the video store, and I would always do that so I'd remember what movies I wanted. And so I write all my movies down, and I thought of this one movie that was called That Darn Cat. But honestly, with Christina Ricci, I'm sure you guys all know that movie if you grew up in the 90s and stuff. Excuse my tablet. And at that time, I didn't know the exact name of the movie, and I thought it was for some weird reason called Stanley the Outside Cat. I don't know. That was what I could think of, because that's what I thought the name of the movie was. So I literally so at that time, I didn't know how to use the internet. I didn't know how to look up movies. I didn't know how to look up the names of movies. I didn't know how to use the internet to look up actors. I never knew how to use the internet back then. Well, I only used it for computer games and stuff, but I never exactly knew how to use the internet. And I wasn't much of a fan of going on the internet at the time. So I would try to think of the movie, and sometimes I couldn't always remember the names of movies, and usually I'm super great at remembering movie names, but I just really wanted to figure out the name of this one movie with Chris, and it was at that time I didn't know it was called That Darn Cat, and it had Christina Ricci in it, and I didn't know the actor in it at the time, but when I was a kid, I didn't know the name of the actor. So we go to Hollywood Video, which was my #1 choice of the video store, and we look for that movie, and I say, "Do you have Stanley the Outside Cat?" And the employee looks at me confused and he didn't know exactly what I was talking about, so he was on his computer, he was looking up the name, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that, Stanley the Outside Cat. I've never heard of that movie." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we rented they had all the other movies that I wanted to get, so we decided to try Blockbuster. So we asked them, "Do you have Stanley the Outside Cat?" And they're like, "We don't have the movie Stanley the Outside Cat. We've never heard of it, blah, 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 blah." So this was so my mom and I have looked everywhere for that movie, and we finally realized we don't think there's a movie called Stanley the Outside Cat, so we just give up looking for it, and we just rent a whole bunch of other movies. I can't even remember what movies we rented from Blockbuster, but I know we rented a whole bunch of other movies. And so I come a couple years later when I'm at the video store, I look at the movie, I look at the movies, And I noticed this one movie, and it was actually and it looked familiar to me. And then I look at the title and I realized it was actually called That Darn Cat. I am such a goofball. I misread what it was called, because I thought it was called Stanley the Outside Cat, because I thought the cat's name was Stanley in the movie. So that's where I think I got confused, because I didn't realize what the actual title of the movie was. So I was super happy that I found it a couple years later, like a year or so later after I was trying to hunt for it, but I didn't know the name, and then I finally figured out the name once I recognized the movie. So the moral of the story is you should always remember the exact names of your movies, because there's so many movies with certain titles. It's like if you just make up a random title, sorry, that was my tablet. If you just make up a random title, like let's say The Claw or The Bear or The Bear That Attacked whatever, nobody's gonna really know what you're talking about. And it may be people will get confused and think they've never heard of that movie. So just keep in mind when you're looking for a movie, always know the title of it. So that should probably help you, is if you know your titles, or if you don't know the title, you could always look it up in your phone. Back then, I didn't really use the internet, like I said, so I didn't know how to look up movie titles by the names. So, and sometimes that just happens. So always remember the names of your movies. And if you don't know the names, just look them up. So that was a story about how I was trying to find a movie that I didn't know the name of that I really wanted to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoons sometimes. And I'll see you in another video soon. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe.